Hola. Well, it's another rainy day in the tropics, so I'm digging up all my old videos, if you haven't noticed. I'm looking forward to going to Bali, doing a workshop there in October. A couple spaces left, but these guys are, there's a whole monkey thing in downtown Ubud. It's super fun. Anyway, today, baby, is August 21st of 2019. And that moon in his earthy Taurus moon today. And she goes into Gemini on Friday, where we have a third quarter square, sun square moon, 0 degrees, 12 minutes. And today, Venus goes into Virgo. So we're going to have a Venus moon, and then Friday the sun goes into Virgo. So we're going to have a Venus square moon. We're going to have a sun conjunct Venus. We're going to have it's just like, woo! Venus conjuncts Mars on Saturday. And then that is all a beautiful. Venus and Mars are going to travel together. That's around like 4 degrees, 7 minutes or something. And it cruises on into a beautiful trine to Uranus. By Monday, Venus trines Uranus, and Wednesday, Mars trines Uranus. So, it's like a Sun, Venus, Mars, all conjunct in a trine to Uranus. Whoa. There's a little bit of an opposition, with Black Moon Lilith over there in Pisces, and that's going to intensify, as you can see in the chart. I think she's at like 12 degrees or something, so that's coming up. But Moon moves into Cancer on Sunday, cruising through there, opposite Saturn and the node on Monday, and then Tuesday she goes into Leo. So let me just look at the camera. This guy is just so great, man. He's, yeah, look into the camera and talk to you about this. So much to say.
Hola over there. Out there in YouTube land, what's going on? No sooner do you think life is one way than it turns out to be something else. It was freaking raining this morning, and bam, the sun comes out. I could have gone out to the river, out to the park, but alas, another banana report. So much to say. I got to get going here because, wow. This is a super intense union of masculine and feminine, and I want to clarify for those that are new to the channel, when I say masculine and feminine, I am not talking about men and women. It's not the physical, it's not gender specific. We all are masculine and feminine, anima and animus. We all have a Venus and a Mars, and whether it is, in gay relationships, there's still a feminine essence, a masculine essence, transgender. It's, whether it's like, but there is this masculine and feminine, the yin and the yang that goes back for God knows how long, from the beginning, and fulfill each other, complement each other, and devote themselves to each other, and in a way do surgery on each other. And that's what this week's mantra is all about. And there's so many things that I want to bring up. Number one, let me dive in with the Sabian symbol. Last week I gave the wrong Sabian symbol. I gave the 4th degree. The conjunction is at 4 degrees 7 minutes. When you read the Sabian symbols, you bump it up to the next one. The 5th degree is like super duper coolo. It is a man becoming aware of nature spirits and normally unseen spiritual agencies. The keynote is the opening of new levels of consciousness. And I'm going to read one sentence of the consciousness is gradually reaching beyond physical characteristics and becoming aware of energy processes, of the dynamism of forces which externalize themselves as life forms. Now, this is really potent material for this Sun, Venus, Mars conjunction happening in Virgo. Virgo is an earth sign. She is the great goddess that is integrated. It is the sign of healing, the sign of especially physical healing. But we know that physical healing depends upon emotional and mental and spiritual, which is another thing that we could talk about, because there's been a little bit of an absence these days in so many circles. This brings me to the evolutionary stages. 3/4 of the world's population is in this consensus stage, and it's ruled by Saturn, and it's very third dimensional, and it's very material. And there can be this sense of what? That it's just mental, emotional, physical. And that we balance our psychology and our emotions and our body, and that's boom, that's all there is. And what we want to understand here is that Virgo is opposite Pisces, the infinite spiritual domain of the unseen, the infinite, beyond mental, okay, beyond emotional, but you can access it through, right, these different, well, with Tantra you can even access it through the physical and the emotional and the mental. But I just want to emphasize, we've got fire, earth, air, and water. We've got 4 elements, and there's 4 bodies. And ever since Sir Francis Bacon kind of materialized scientific processes, okay, we've kind of if you can't see it and you can't touch it, it's not real. And we've gotten there's been a certain amount of a descent. But what I want to focus on today, and what today's mantra is about, is that spiritual, let dis-ease is dis-ease. I am out of ease with the spirit, with the divine, with my own divine soul intention, process, evolutionary patterns, and growth. And it starts on a spiritual level, and then it gets into mental doubt, and you get into all kinds of games and stories and illusions, and you get, and let's look at the mental, how the mental affects the emotional. Right? Our thoughts affect our emotions. We think about, we read something or whatever, we watch this, and it triggers us emotionally. And our emotions, when we get emotionally triggered, it triggers chemical releases of the brain, right? And the body, adrenaline, cortisone, melatonin, serotonin. All the whole glandular system is so fascinating to me, because it is really the link between, okay, the spirit, mind, and body. Yeah, excreting all these different chemicals, at all different times, getting the dopamine rush, getting the this, getting the, lack of adrenaline, whatever. It just goes up and down and in and out. So, when we come into Virgo, we come into integration, and we come into the necessity of balancing and integrating all of our bodies: astral body, mental body, emotional body, physical body. These are the main 4. In Kundalini Yoga, there's actually 10, but we've only got so much time to talk today, because what? Because I want to tell you a story. I love storytelling. I just told the story of the churning of the milk ocean, about the moon's north and south nodes. I gave it to the New Paradigm community. You should check out that community. But anyway, this story is Tristan and Isolde. And it's at that romantic period where there was, and this was a big change in our history. Okay, the romantics came in, and what did they do? What they did was it kind of took the striving, that mankind has had since the beginning, this longing to reconnect with the divine samadhi, nirvana, infinite, love, spiritual love, Piscean, Neptunian spiritual love. It's almost like death or a return to the womb. So it's like before we came here and after we leave here, we go into these infinite, timeless, formless realms where there's no ego and no separation. And those were always sought after through meditation or prayer or religion or, just kind of this renunciation until the romantic period. And the romantic period came along and it was like what we could seek for in the infinite, let us seek for in the flesh. Let us seek for it here, embodied in the woman, the feminine, so the masculine. So Tristan is this symbol in a way, but I mean, it's a story. You can read about it. One of it is, I'm going to put a link, okay, to this in YouTube because she tells it way better than I tell it. And Robert Johnson talks about it in his book called We. Yeah? Might want to check that out. Anyway, this is the story of, and it's almost a myth, but it's a story. And he's an orphan. Orphan means, kind of like end of patriarchy, end of an old order. I'm on my own. I've got no, help here. And anyway, so his job, his uncle gives him the job of going across the sea. This is Ireland to England, and Ireland is seen as the realm of the fairy and the spirit, and so his English uncle sends him up to Ireland to get his wife because they were going to do this arranged marriage thing, right? On the way back, in the boat, they accidentally drink some love potion, and Tristan and Isolde fall deeply and romantically in love. And it is this, and it's symbolic of like a love potion is moving into the unconscious. It's like they're in love, but they're not even aware of it. It's all this Neptunian, magical, mystery, divine, and they, of course, and they're on this little, this little rowboat or whatever. So, anyway, they come back and it's not consummated, but that's what I got in the story. The uncle takes Isolde and gets married. And Tristan, is left. And Isolde is left. And they can't resist the love that they have for each other because it has taken them out of this world, right? So they start meeting secretly behind Mark's back. Uncle Mark, right? And they consume each other. They consummate their relationship in love, and they fall deeply and badly. But it's all in secret. And then the authority, right? Mark discovers what's happening, and he wants to kill them because really a love like this is not allowed to happen on earth. It's too divine. This is kind of the symbology, right? But rather than be killed, they escape. So great, man. Yeah. Tristan, ends up escaping anyway, and he goes off to fight the war. Oh no, I think they get caught or whatever. They get exiled. Anyway, they don't get to be together. And and she has to go back to Mark. He goes off to war, and the story is actually that he meets another woman with the same name, Isolde, and they do get married. So there is this Virgo, right? As opposed to, Neptune, Pisces, divine, infinite, unconscious, just throwing cares to the wind and no responsibilities and, who cares, whatever. We can't resist our unconscious needs and desires. And this is addictions. And Pisces and Neptune and Lilith is over there now. And, it's just like, what's coming up actually is, the sun and Venus and Mars move up, and then the moon comes in. We have a new moon coming up, in Virgo, opposite Neptune and Lilith. So this is not just this week's Pele report, but you'll be seeing this going on now that the sun is in Virgo for the next month. We're talking about purifying, discriminating, really distilling our experiences and coming into, okay, what is, how can we balance and integrate divine love, Neptune, with earthly love, Venus? It's the way I see it. And the interesting thing is they're both square Jupiter up there in Sagittarius. This is kind of a theme for the year about what is true and what is real and what is illusion and what is false. But you probably want me to finish the story. Well, I gotta say, it's tragic. What happens is, it's like after 3 years or something, or they're married, but Tristan still wants to find a way to unite with the youthful divine love experience he had with the first Isolde. And so he goes back and he's waiting for her. They make a secret time where they're going to, have a rendezvous. And he's waiting for her, and she doesn't show, and she doesn't show, and she doesn't show. And he cannot take it anymore, and he dies. And she shows. And when she arrives, he is no longer alive, and therefore she also dies. That this divine spiritual love can only happen in the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th dimensions. Woo! But to bring it down to earth, to relate it to today's mantra, to relate it to the sun in Virgo, Venus in Virgo, Mars in Virgo, what is going on? It's get your shit together. Because it is as healthy as you are, that the healthier I am, the more I bring to my partnership, the more I bring to my relationship. If I'm angry, depressed, absent, not here, I can't really carry on, this deep, intense, transformative, divine, loving kind of relationship. So it involves each one of us healing ourselves, doing our inner work, preparing. This is Virgo. Virgo is getting it together so that I bring all of my stuff to Libra. Libra follows Virgo. So it's like this is a time period of work, of healing our physical bodies, our emotional bodies. Let's look at the emotional bodies. This goes back, okay, to childhood, to past lives, to stories we've been told about, who we are and, what love is, and, and kind of, being able to stretch ourselves emotionally, to come into places, and you're stretching yourself when you're out of comfort, when you're in discomfort, when your partner brings up some of your unconscious projections or some of your illusions. This is what partnerships do. We reflect back and forth. We're mirrors for each other. I think, I swear, it's a spiritual setup. We were set up, okay, to like wake each other up and do this whole dance, this whole beautiful, mysterious dance of waking up with each other. And so, when something is brought up that we have been, lying or hiding or, in illusion or holding ourselves back or not even treating ourselves, well enough to, contribute, devote ourselves. So there's this, it's like when this is brought up, we can deny it, avoid it, toke up about it, escape, run off, not face it, da 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 da, and it can cause a wedge in our relationships, right? So this is where therapy, this is where counseling, this is where intentional dialogue, this is where, it's like, okay, it's like sit in the discomfort and you will know that you are stretching. You're wired, you're stretching your emotional capacity for love and to be in relationship and partnership. And then the mantras I say, a psychic cleansing. How about that one, right? Love is a psychic cleansing. So our relationships are also, where, yeah, we get to see our demons and we get to see our shadows and all of the, all this kind of stuff comes up. All of our fears come up of being vulnerable, of being trapped, okay, of being eaten alive. I was looking at the Black Widow, and how it has a tendency to eat her mate. And Laura is telling me about the praying mantis, how the as soon as they consummate or do their thing, fertilize each other, the female eats the head of the male praying mantis. And I'm just thinking of Spider Woman, how the feminine can kind of wrap around, and the masculine can feel like he's being eaten or swallowed or locked up. Or so there is all kinds of, and of course the feminine can feel just preyed upon, used, objectified. So it's like the masculine without the feminine can be cold and hard and ruthless, and just use, okay, and in a very physical, profane way, which brings me to another link that I want to put down below. I get a lot of people that share a lot of things with me, and this is an amazing website on pornography. It's called Save Our Sexuality. I'll put the link in the notes, but it's got so much information, okay, that is like super highly disturbing. I mean, we talked about Epstein and child trafficking and things going on and the sex traffic. Now you look at pornography, it's a $97 billion business worldwide, which could feed 4.8 billion people a day, but instead it's being spent somewhere else. Talk about, food problems and food shortages. Okay, then we have that it's also happening very much between ages 12 to 18. 35% of online searches are for pornography, right? And 66% of teenagers between 16 and 19, boys, okay, are daily or weekly viewing, okay, pornography. I mean, it's just like, it really, it goes on. 3,000 videos a second are being played. 7.26 million porn videos a day. So, this is just like really, wow. Just check out the website. I just want to bring up, some of these, figures, some of these facts, to say how distorted, okay, how we may be seeking for okay, this, this divine nirvana, but we're thwarted and we're not getting it, okay, in this material physical world. So now we've got technology, okay, and videos and movies and Instagram or whatever, things, like coming up, and it's just like this longing. There's a super longing going on with Jupiter square Neptune in particular. Neptune is in Pisces, okay, from 2012 to 2024. This is actually a 2010. 10 to 24, 14 years of Neptune in Pisces. We are all unconsciously, more or less, longing to, reach divine states of bliss. It's a part of our nature to want this experience. It's just how we go about achieving it. Is it through yoga? Is it through breath work? Is it through sex? Is it through drugs? Is it through movies? Is it through, there's so many avenues to evolve through. It's beautiful and it's wonderful and it's a symphony and you can play any instrument, okay? But, there are some that are more detrimental to our health. And so this is a time period. Virgo is about discriminating, discerning, get on that diet, you do your exercise, get grounded, get pure, purge, do a kidney cleanse, do a liver cleanse, do a gallbladder, a colon cleanse. This is just like a great time, to like really heal ourselves. And then it's about service. Virgo and Pisces is about service and offering ourselves, devoting ourselves to love, devoting ourselves to our partners. Worship, if you can, worship your partner. And then you have to, that can be another, discomfort, is even receiving devotion. We can be really challenged to receive love, especially if we don't love ourselves. So this is just kind of the energy that I feel is happening as the sun moves through Virgo for the next month, as this Venus-Mars conjunction comes together. It's an opportunity to look for those nature spirits. look to embodying, giving form to the formless. Experiencing divine love in this physical world. Let's see if we can do it. Let's see if we can, make it happen. What the old romance and romantics wanted for the last hundreds of years. Maybe we are the generation to make it happen and do it. Realize it. So yeah, baby. Ow, that brings me to what? Love is healing, supporting, and giving, perfecting, and sharing myself. A psychic cleansing and emotional clearing that restores me to optimum health. It's like I would say in the past, if you're not going to like get healthy for yourself, get healthy for somebody else. Do it for somebody else. But that doesn't work. Sorry, I don't think that's possible. You can't really change yourself for somebody else. I'm sorry. I've tried it. I've had people try it, for me, and it just doesn't work. You have to do it for yourself. It's like you decide, for yourself. I'm going to do this for myself. You can't change yourself for a relationship. A relationship can inspire you to change yourself, but you just got to own it. And this is what Virgo is like really all about. Yeah. So, one last time, let you go. It is what? Love is healing, supportive, and giving, perfecting, and sharing myself. A psychic cleansing and emotional clearing that restores me to optimum health. May you be restored through Virgo. Namaste. Aloha. So much love.